Hello and welcome to another video lesson with Mr. Panza. Today we're going to be exploring this question. How do we order decimals? When I talk about ordering decimals, I'm talking about organizing them from least to greatest and also from greatest to least. What's great about this concept is we can use the concepts that we have used for addition and subtraction of decimals as well as comparing decimals. Let me show you what I'm talking about. You probably recognize these steps. Step 1, write the numbers on top of each other using your place value chart. Step 2 and 3,
line up the decimals, fill in the holes with zeros.
That makes everything
matchy.
And then once you compare the numbers, you can rewrite those numbers in order based on what the question is asking you. Like you see over here, if I had to organize the numbers 62 hundredths, 23 hundredths, and 6 tenths from least to greatest, well, I would only need to use these steps and this place value chart to organize those numbers. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Because you don't have this place value chart, you're going to have to remember where those place values are. And again, think about your songs. The original place value song started with ones, so you can mark the ones category for the 3 numbers that you're placing in the chart. The decimal place value starts with and, which is your decimal point, which needs to be lined up based on step 2 in our directions. Then it's the tenths, then the hundredths, which means each place value, the tenths and the hundredths, has to have a number on top of it in order to compare correctly. So let's take a look at each individual number. The first one is 62 hundredths. So I'm going to write that in my place value chart. A 0 in the ones, a 6 in the tenths, and a 2 in the hundredths. My next number is 23 hundredths. Just like this individual wrote on the side, a 0 in the ones, a 2 in the tenths, and a 3 in the hundredths. I'm following steps 1, 2, and 3. In this case, then I have a 0 in the ones and a 6 in the tenths. This one you need to fill in step 3 because there's nothing in the hundredths. And what's great about this is you start to understand the concept of how place value plays into decimals. Because there is only a 6 in the tenths, you can fill in that hole with a 0, which actually shows you that 6 tenths, although it looks smaller than the number 23, is larger, because 6 tenths is equivalent to 60 hundredths. Because when you add that 0, it keeps the number the same, but because you have the place values correct now, you'll be able to compare. What I like to do then is organize my numbers first. Recognize that I'm looking for the smallest number first, the least number. So I'm going to look for the lowest number when comparing place values left to right. Well, there's nothing in the ones, so I've got to look at the tenths. Which one is my lowest number? Clearly this 2. So when I rewrite my numbers, that one is going to be the one that I write first. Then I look at the other 2 numbers that I have. In the tenths, they both have a 6, so I have to follow it over to the hundredths place value, where in this number, 62 hundredths, I see a 2 in the hundredths, and only a 0 in this hundredths, which means 62 hundredths will be my next number, or it will be my largest number, and 60 hundredths will be my middle number. So when I rewrite these numbers, I've now organized them. Oh, 1, I need to write this one first. 0 and 23 hundredths is my lowest number. Separate it with a comma. The second number, in order from least to greatest, is 0 and 6 tenths, or 60 hundredths. And my final number, which is my largest number, is 0 and 62 hundredths. You'll notice that following these steps, writing the numbers on top of each other, lining up the decimals, filling in the holes with zeros, and then rewriting them in order will work every time, even if you have a whole number. Let's pull one out real quick. Okay, I have 24 hundredths. I can place that in my place value chart. I have 33 hundredths placed into my place value chart. And then 4 tenths. Now, what if instead of 33 hundredths, this was actually 1 and 33 hundredths? It still works. It just automatically tells you that this is your greatest number. And because I'm organizing it from least to greatest, this would be the one that I write third. So which one is my smallest number? 24 hundredths or 4 tenths? Well, don't forget about step 3. You need to fill in the hole with that 0, which now I can compare. Which one is larger, 40 or 24? 40 is the larger of the 2, which means it's going to be the second one I write, and 24 hundredths would be the first one that I write, because it's looking for numbers from least to greatest. And I would just write them back here on this line. 24 hundredths. Next is 4 tenths, or 40 hundredths. And finally, my largest number is the whole number 1 and 33 hundredths. Follow these steps, and you'll be good to go.